Hello, this is Teacher Josh, and we're taking a look at the Smithsonian. This is article January or issue January-February 2025. And we're talking about a place today that I've actually been to. It's the ancient sites of Turkey. The title of the article is, check it out, Traveling Back to the Dawn of Civilization. Wow, the dawn of civilization. What does that mean? Dawn means when the sun comes up in the morning, right? So figuratively that means the start of time, the start of civilization, of humanity, and when it started to civilize itself and live in cities and groups. That's what civilization means. So the beginning of civilization. And I just wanted to get in here that we're looking at the Smithsonian, as I mentioned earlier, and we're in the January-February edition. So we're actually on pages 7 and 8, talking about the ancient sites of Turkey. So probably one of the coolest places to visit, especially for history lovers. You guys can see the top of what I believe to be Topkapi Palace. And this was the old palace of the Ottoman sultans and princes. This is where they lived. You can actually tour the old palace today. It's in Istanbul, Turkey. So in this particular story in the magazine, we're talking about the history of mankind. Some of the earliest recorded sites are in Turkey. It's the crossroads of civilization. You guys can see crossroads of civilization here. What does that mean? Well, a crossroads is where two places meet, right? So Turkey is between Asia and the Middle East, so it's considered the crossroads of civilization. They say the earliest humans came from Africa, and they would have had to travel up through Turkey in order to enter Asia from that point. That's why it's called the crossroads of civilization. So there are we're going to find out, there's over 21 World UNESCO Heritage Sites, 21 of these really important heritage sites, World Heritage Sites in Turkey. So let's take a little look here at the story and some of the words, some of the places. Let's check it out. So the first thing I want to point out is the titles. Okay, we can get a quick sense of what the article's about by looking at the titles. We've got the Land of Great Transformation. What does transformation mean? Well, transformation means of great change. And you can see a date here. Anytime you see numbers, that's really important. 9,600 BCE. So that's BC is before Christ. Okay, that's what the calendar that we use today in the West is based on, the birth of Jesus Christ. And this was 9,600 BCE. So we're talking, oh my goodness, like 10,000 years ago, they just that this civilization existed. It predates, okay, it says, check this out. So it predates the Neolithic age, that means it comes before, that's a good word to know, predates, comes before both Stonehenge. Okay, we talked about Stonehenge before in the last article of the Smithsonian. So that's a site in England. So this comes before that. The Great Pyramids. This even predates the Great Pyramids. So what is it? It's a T-shaped stone pillars with intricate carvings expressing the mystical power of the site of worship. So mystical powers. Mystical is like magical, right? Something otherworldly. Think of like Harry Potter, right? Magic, mystical. So these carvings are very mystical. And it tells us something about what they worshipped. It was a place of worship. So a place of religion, of faith, that they would come to. and it was old. It's called Kata Hoyuk. It's also another famous Neolithic excavation site. What's an excavation site? Well, excavating means to lift the dirt up and see what's underneath. So that's where archaeologists go, and they uncover these incredible secrets of the ancient world. That's what makes it an excavation site. It says there's an urban settlement there. Of course, urban means city, and settlement it's just like a city. Settlement means city. A group of people lived in this city, and it's ancient. And it says they unearthed it. It means they took the dirt off. It's the same idea as excavate. All right, so that's the first civilization that they found, the oldest civilization in Turkey. Next, it says ancient kingdoms of Anatolia. So Anatolia is a region in Turkey. And check this out. You've got the Hittite civilization. Okay? This is actually a group of peoples mentioned in the Old Testament in the Bible. Ancient civilization, they're from this area. And they're a great civilization, and they have found remains of that particular civilization. The Phrygian civilization, again, another incredible ancient civilization that they have found archaeological evidence for. Pretty incredible. So this Phrygian culture, the cool thing is they have unearthed one of the best preserved, look what it says here, Phrygian citadels. A citadel is like a fort or a castle. It's what they referred to them as. And the city rulers, they found where the city rulers were buried. So they found also monumental architecture of the Iron Age of the Near East. The Iron Age is like the 10th through the 8th centuries BCE. This is old, okay? So they found a fortified gate complex. Okay, it's the most well-preserved fortified gate complex. What does that mean? Well-preserved? It means it's in great condition for being like 12,000 years old, 10,000 years old. Fortified means it was a place of protection, like a castle, gate. Okay, fortified means protection. The gate complex, that just means the front gate. You guys can see right here. It's pretty cool, right? You've got these lions at the front of this gate here. So that's just another example of one of these incredible sites. All right, I'm super excited to talk about the Library of Celsus in Ephesus, Izmir. I got to go here. I literally walked around in this little plaza area. It is unbelievable. Izmir is a coastal city in Turkey, and it in fact has these ancient cities that are mentioned in the Bible. The New Testament, in the book of Revelation, it mentions these ancient cities. And in Paul's journeys, he's a figure in the New Testament that wrote over a third of the New Testament. He started churches in these ancient cities in Turkey, so you can go visit them. And one of the disciples of Jesus actually lived in Ephesus with Jesus' mother Mary, both, of course, important figures within Christianity. So Pergamum contains 200,000 volumes of books. That's crazy. So this is like a learning center. 200,000 volumes. That's a major library. We also have, I wanted to mention this, the seat of the Ottoman throne. So the seat of the Ottoman throne, that was when the Ottoman Empire was at its height, and the rulers of the Ottoman Empire, this is the birth of the Ottoman Empire in Bursa, also been there. Absolutely amazing. We're talking about 1335 to 1363 AD. This isn't BC anymore. This is AD, so we're talking about a couple thousand years ago. You can also go and visit Hierapolis, the ancient city, and there's these incredible ruins there that you can see and explore. I like the city, or the picture of Pergamum here. You can see the lady in her yellow outfit. So wow, if you're a history lover, I want to encourage you to go to Turkey. It is so full of history, and I've been there. It is absolutely everything they say it is. Guys, go check out Turkey. Thanks for joining me today. We'll talk again soon. Bye, everyone.